Hello, my name is John McComb. I've been a resident of the North Shore for over 20 years, and I have personally struggled with mental illness. I've suffered with depression and anxiety to the point that I had to take time away from work. But I'm not ashamed, I'm not hiding, and I'm not alone. 1 in 5 Canadians will personally experience a mental illness in their lifetime. And mental illness indirectly affects virtually all Canadians at some time, through a family member, a friend, or a colleague. Mental illness affects people of all ages, educational and income levels, and cultures. For years, mental illness was an issue that was swept under the rug. It's time we bring it out into the open. In more recent years, there has been a move toward removing the stigma around mental illness, but there is still a long way to go. The Canadian Mental Health Association has been around in Canada since 1918, and since 1958, it's been on the North Shore, the traditional lands of the Coast Salish people. As the leading mental health organization on the North Shore, the CMHA supports the resilience and recovery of people experiencing mental illness through information, education, services, research, and advocacy. Specific programs focus on youth, seniors, social enterprise, and community resources, and many more. Some of the funding to make these programs and services happen comes from government and other agencies. But in order for the work to be truly sustainable and to grow over the long term, there is much more that can and must be done. This is where residents and businesses of the North Shore can play such a pivotal role in providing additional financial support. There are countless stories of people who have benefited from the support of the Canadian Mental Health Association on the North Shore. Here are just a few.
So the Hope Cafe is a social enterprise operated by Canadian Mental Health Association, North and West Vancouver branch, and in partnership with Blends Coffee Company and Vancouver Coastal Health. The profits from this particular blends goes directly back into supporting those services here on the North Shore. We have a mandate of employing at least minimum of 50% of the team with mental illness or some type of lived experience. So it's not a stepping stone, it's an actual job where people come, they work, they learn skills and earn income and are treated like they would at any other place, except for they're supported here and included in everything that we do.
I'm accepted here by my customers, by my employees, by my management. It doesn't matter where I've been, it's the person I am now, and I'm accepted. I feel comfortable, and I feel confident, and I feel happy. These are great experiences to have, and they're transferable to the rest of my life.
I see my team growing and their confidence growing every day, and my own. You know, I've grown a lot since we opened the coffee shop. I just wish people would just rethink the fact that mental illness is mental illness, or mental health is mental health. We all live with it. It's how we live with it that makes the difference.
This coffee shop is a place where I can make people smile. And the pride I get from that is, that's my purpose.
We're very proud of what we do here at the Hope Cafe. I'm proud of our team. I'm proud to be located here on the North Shore, supported by the Canadian Mental Health Association. I think it's a pretty good gig.
I think the Hope Cafe is proof that people with mental health challenges can be successful in the workforce and can be successful at life.
The Kelty Dennehy Mental Health Resource Centre is operated by Canadian Mental Health within the Hope Centre. We're a place that people can come in and be able to navigate through the mental health system and get connected to the resources in the community. The reason families come here because they're faced with a situation that they have no power on. So that's why they come here to find a way to be able to help and support their loved ones.
I could come here often, get information, work with a compassionate person who was very knowledgeable of the entire system and how it works. It's like having a coach. They act as a coach and provide you with that type of information as well, which is vital. Sometimes you get the feeling that the system is working against you, but in this particular case, you really feel that you've got a place you can go to and get a great deal of help and support. The place is open 5 days a week, and it's manned by people like Beta, who are exceptionally helpful, compassionate, and knowledgeable. You can't ask for more than that.
The beauty of Kelty Mental Health Resource Center is we're all about North Shore, and North Shore is a community, and they've always done things together, and that's how, this place has thrived over the years.
If the center didn't exist, it would be awful. I would have been lost. I would have been far more desperate without the information I got from the center and without the help and advice I got from Beta. I would have definitely been lost. So the center played a vital role in providing that support.
I am so lucky in my position because no matter who comes through these doors, no matter how hopeless they are, I am able to give them hope.
I used to live in Toronto. My marriage broke up. I moved out here. A couple of years ago, I had health issues and depression. So I was, I think my GP suggested coming to the Canadian Mental Health Association.
I first met David 2 years ago. He was referred by his GP for depression and some chronic health issues that he was struggling with. We spent 10 sessions doing some work around the depression. A main concern for many clients with chronic health issues is that they still have some anxiety or some depression, or they're worried about having recurrent episodes. So we decided to start a peer-led support group where they could meet weekly and carry on supporting each other.
Well, last fall, I was having a session with Maria, and she told me that she had this concept of a group and asked me if I'd look in and let her know how it was going. I didn't want to be part of any group. Anyway, I said I would go for 2 sessions. And then it went from there. It became very enjoyable.
The people who attend the group each bring something special. And as a unit, that makes something bigger, and that makes something that they're all excited about and that they care about.
Oh, I think I have a totally different attitude towards things. Much more positive. I enjoy things, looking forward to the group tomorrow. I mean, CMHA has a huge role in it, and then the group was Maria's concept. She's had a huge impact on my life, Maria has, and I feel a depth of gratitude.
The biggest change I've seen in David is the hopefulness. I remember one email he sent that said, it was around Happy New Year, and he said, this is the first time I'm looking forward to the new year in a while. And I thought that's what it's about. It's that hopefulness and that wanting to be here, wanting to make it better. So when I see that shift, that's wonderful.
When I was 14 years old, I was in grade 9. I started to realize that I was struggling with something. I was at a point in my life, a very dark, and it felt like I was all alone and like I had no support, and just a very hopeless, sad, very gloomy point in my life.
Ivana's experience is very common to youth, as 1 in 5 youth will experience some kind of mental health challenge as a youth, and suicide is actually the second leading cause of death amongst youth. So Ivana's experience is more common than we would think.
At the end of my grade 9 year, shortly before my 15th birthday, I was able to end up seeing a psychiatrist who diagnosed me with depression and anxiety. People from the Canadian Mental Health Association identified that I would be a good candidate for their new program, the STEPS program. The STEPS program is a recreation-based program for youth who are struggling with some kind of mental health challenge. It's sort of a support group for youth who are all going through something, and it brings them together in a supportive, stigma-free environment.
We know that when youth are struggling with their mental health, they often aren't getting out and exercising, and we know that exercise is huge in a person's recovery from mental health issues. And also, youth often isolate themselves and aren't getting out. So by coming to STEPS, they're getting out and engaging in some physical activity and also getting some connection with peers, which is really important.
STEPS for me made a whole pile of changes and made a real big difference for me in my own personal recovery, just because with the recreational component, I got to learn a lot about how to integrate that into my own recovery. And so that was, for me, that was huge, because that was something that I wasn't super aware of before.
And now she's moving forward with CMHA as a youth peer support worker. So by sharing her lived experience with other youth that are experiencing mental health challenges, she is able to support them and help them on their road to recovery.
I would go so far as to say that I'm recovered from my depression, just because I don't have any of those symptoms anymore, and I couldn't have done it without the help and support of the STEPS program, for sure.
The North Shore is a great place to live and work, but we mustn't ignore or marginalize those who are struggling with mental health issues. They are our family members, our colleagues, maybe even ourselves. Mental health is key to our well-being. We can't be truly healthy without it. It involves how we feel, think, act, and interact with the world around us. Mental health is about realizing our potential, coping with the normal stresses of life, and making a contribution to our community. Please support the Canadian Mental Health Association of North and West Vancouver and make our community stronger and healthier. Thank you.